A lot of women who work also carry a lot of weight in the home.
Kind of these independent career boss chicks, however dope that you all may be, but the personality that it takes for you to be that from, going into work and doing your thing perspective, if you are unable to turn off that switch and then go back into the household with that same shit, which I will admit is a tough thing to do.
So I disagree with using the statistics of divorce to sway your decision on marriage.
So you disagree with me entering in the 50% divorce rate?
I disagree with you using the statistics as a point.
Okay.
Feminism has extinguished masculinity. One of modern society's failures is the removal of the male mentor due to the feminine agenda of crushing the spirit of young boys. We have failed to provide a stable outlet for male aggression, and instead of allowing boys to wrestle, fight, explore, and physically exert themselves, we have evolved into a state of passivity and tolerance. We inject them with drugs in order to avoid upsetting the girls with their growing masculinity. Instead of participating in sports, we watch them on TV and play video games, accomplishing nothing. This transforms a child's charisma and youthful exuberance into an insecure, mentally absent adult with no real-life experiences to draw on in times of adversity. We've created a state of men toward feminists that will bend to the movement's every whim and outrage. A man who is so afraid of confrontation, commitment, and being alone that he will do anything to avoid it. I don't mean commitment to women on a romantic level. I mean commitment to a decision, to an ideal to decide, to take responsibility for your life, to educate yourself. Many of us grow up ignorant of fundamental male concepts such as history, philosophy, art, music, the classics, poetry, Shakespeare, and other pillars of civilization. We teach these texts because they have the potential to mold young boys into educated, driven young men. How many young men can name every member of their favorite sports team's starting lineup? How many scientists can you name when men with encyclopedic knowledge of the Star Wars universe can't find the time to read? We don't know these things because feminism has denied us access to them. Because it wasn't fair to the girls, hard concepts were replaced by simpler texts. We prioritized sensitivity over truth. Looking around at modern culture, I see men like Mr. Rogers labeled as creeps and pedophiles for his interest in helping young children. You'd be hard-pressed to find a more compassionate and caring person than Fred Rogers. But modern feminism has convinced men that such feelings and commitments are impossible without underlying motives. We have allowed women to deracinate male influence due to irrational fears of molestation by any man who comes within arm's reach of a child. The importance of taking responsibility for what you want, why integrity and ethics are virtues a man should live by, and how learning to reason and think for yourself is the only way to discover the meaning of truth. We must reintroduce the concept of male wisdom and mentoring to young boys, or we will grow up in a world that is weak, overly sensitive, and passive. What is a kid from the streets who sees crime all around him going to learn from a privileged pro-death counselor at his school? He has nothing in common with her. He needs someone who has seen the harsh reality of life to guide him, to steer him away from the wrong path, and to tell him to focus on himself. He requires strong role models. Feminism has extinguished all notions of mentors and male guides. In fact, it has extinguished masculinity entirely. Masculinity is a practice, a tradition passed down from man to man, not just a biological state. Masculinity is not the source of chaos in a society. In fact, patriarchy and male responsibility kept the tribe together for millennia. Experiments and studies have shown that when men are placed in a survival situation, they tend to band together and build, whereas women begin to bicker among themselves. I can't imagine how women could have established civilizations and led tribes if they can't even manage their own lives in the modern world. However, if you talk to a feminist, she'll tell you that masculinity was the root cause of all bad things in history. It's a total and utter demonization of masculinity as a whole. What do you even say to these women who have left no room for doubt? Keep the movement going, because that is the only solution, and that is our only way out. By preserving masculine movements, we can reclaim what has been lost, combat the growing insanity of the modern world, and raise our sons properly. Don't forget to hit the like button to help spread the word about this video. Thank you for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember that a red pill a day keeps bad poker hands away. So have a good rest of your day and cheers.